Hey, welcome to Sports Close-Up on Armstrong. I'm Ed Merritt, my co-host John Matillo. Today we're interviewing Cambridge Springs District 10 softball. From my left I have Coach Dave Miller, the manager Angie Mumford, and John.
Am I right?
Paige Verbanek, center field.
Miranda Finlay, first base.
Chloe Schultz, shortstop.
Haley Rogers, pitcher.
Yeah, they were District 10 champions.
Champions, excuse me. But anyhow, Angie, you've been here for quite some time. Tell us how you got started, becoming a manager and, coaching these, Cambridge Springs throughout the years, because you said you've been here for a while.
I have. I had my student teaching placement was actually here with John Workmeister, and Mr. Workmeister got me hooked up with Chris Konjowski because my placement was the whole time. And Mr. Konjowski then hooked me up with Bill Crawford, who was the head coach, and Mark McKissick, and John Kutz, and Steve Bear, like some of the legends of Cambridge Springs softball. So when I was here, we won District 10 title and went on to the state playoffs. Then I had a year hiatus where I had to go somewhere else and find a teaching job. But then an opening in Cambridge came back and they hired me. And ever since then, I've been part of the softball program and won different titles and got to see a lot of young women develop into successful professionals.
Dave, how long have you been here?
Well, I've been in the district for 28 and a half years. I coached baseball for 10 years through Little League, did a little bit of high school coaching, and Angie asked me several years ago to come on as the assistant, and I've been here ever since. I had 2 years I did a volunteer stint. My wife and I moved out of town, so I was unable to coach for a couple, came back, and I've been the assistant now for 4 years here.
So what do you like better coaching, baseball or softball?
Well, you put me on the spot.
I am
there.
putting you on the spot.
I love coaching softball. I loved coaching my boys. I have 3 boys, so I was, relegated to coaching baseball. But I love the softball game. I love the quickness of the game. I don't know if I would coach baseball again. I love softball more now than I do baseball coaching. So if it were to come to choosing between the two sports now, I would choose softball.
You do a lot for it, don't you? You go home and do all the stats and everything?
Yeah, I handle the stats book. I have a spreadsheet that puts all that stuff together for me, and every morning I'll email the coaches, say, check these stats out, see what do you think, and then we'll look at them, come up with a creative lineup for the next game, and our lineups were typically changing by the day.
We didn't have the same lineup one single game this season. It was never the same. We had a little drum roll before, and hey, what are you doing today? So
You just like to keep it mixed up, don't you?
Well, at first it was of a necessity, and then eventually, towards the end of the season, we're like, oh, we're just going to switch these 2 girls because we've never had the same lineup. We didn't want to jinx it.
Just seeing, we waited, you were late, that's okay. So waiting for you girls, you could see the relationship you have with your coach and the relaxed atmosphere that you have as a team. And I was really impressed just sitting here listening to you girls talk and with your coach talking. What position did you play?
Center field. First base.
First base?
Shortstop.
Pitcher.
And you're a sophomore?
Yes.
3 seniors?
Yeah.
Okay. Future plans?
Going to the workforce.
Had a girl.
I'm going to Penn State Barron for plastics engineering.
Okay.
I'm going to West Liberty for dental hygiene.
And you're still in school. You
Yeah.
are. You guys have been playing since you were young.
Yeah.
You have a great program up here in Cambridge Springs, correct?
Yes.
Started with the youth. I was driving to Erie one day and I drove by the Grant Street fields and I saw both fields filled with young ladies playing, not playing a game, but we're practicing, going through the fundamentals and all that. Very impressive. What's the favorite part of the game that you like?
Just like maybe, oh my, just getting to play with my teammates and developing like another family, because they're always gonna have your back and you can go to them for anything. It's not just sports related, just life, school, anything, and just know that they're always gonna be there for you.
Who taught you how to pitch?
My father, my dad, he's caught on the bucket for me ever since I was younger, and then we went to a couple camps and YouTube videos and all that stuff. So.
Well, do you girls realize how popular your game has become? I mean, did you watch the College World Series women's on ESPN? It's unbelievable. the stadiums that they have for the women now, they're just comparable to the men's, and the people that are playing and the interest is unbelievable. And old timers like myself, we love watching it because when we used to play fast pitch softball, it was the windmill. Now the men, we play that easy slow pitch, and you women are doing what we can't do anymore. It's very impressive. How about you? What's your favorite part of the game?
Building friendships for a lifetime. Our coaches taught us that.
I'm impressed with the coaches, by the way. And I'm not very good at names. That's why I'm just pointing at you. I'll get it, but by the time the interview's over, I'll get to know who everybody is. Ed took the easy part, Angie and Dave.
Hey,
How about you, honey?
Probably the excitement of the game. It's so exciting to just play the game and have fun and make memories with everyone.
Same thing?
Yeah, making memories.
Well, the nice thing is, too, you're in a small community. What do you have? I think Angie said, what, 70-some girls in the whole school?
Yeah, we're in the
grades?
80s.
In the
but that's
80s?
it.
So you probably play multiple sports also, right?
Yeah.
And you have cooperation between the coaches of the different sports. That's impressive. I mean, for a small school, it's to have, what, 3 District 10 championships this year for the girls, basketball, softball, and soccer?
Soccer, yep.
It's impressive.
so you started to build a nice program through. Now, what else do you coach? You're coaching in the summertime too, correct?
Yes. When I first started back in '02, Mark and those guys got me into coaching Little League. And so right now I help coach a 10U travel team, a 14U travel team. Then we have another assistant coach who is coaching the 12U travel team. And then we have an 18U travel team. It's all part of the Cambridge Crush, and that's actually the head coach at Sagertown, Jen Kreider. And we have been working cooperatively. Like Cambridge and Sagertown for softball have been working together to develop all kids. Like, we don't care where the girls are from. McLean has been sending down a number of girls. They're playing. Also, the 10U All-Star team. My daughter's 9, and she's in that All-Star program, so I'm helping coach that team also. And then we have a Tuesday night high school league that we play in. We played McDowell last week. This week we have Fort LaBeouf. So we do a lot of softball.
So it's nice that you're interacting with the younger kids because by the time they come up here, they know your style of coaching.
Very much so.
Do you help out?
I help out with the high school programs on the Tuesday nights and whenever I can fill in and do other things. You know, summers get a little crazy at our house with my 3 boys, but you know, anytime I can get with these girls and do some coaching with them, I like to work that in.
So you guys are very dedicated, and that's good because sometimes you don't find that. But it's just, and especially the girls build a bond, and like you were saying, they play all these other like 2 or 3 sports, but they build that bond even on the other sports. So it's nice. What do you think of your coach?
Are amazing. I mean, they're always going to be there for you, no matter what it is, and they always have your back no matter what, and they'd be willing to help you with anything that you ever need.
She
I
teach
think
you a
they're
lot?
great
I mean,
coaches.
like,
She's also a teacher too. I've had her in class this year, so that was awesome to have her
was she an
in
easy
class.
teacher?
No, but she did give us less work during softball season. Which
There we go.
we did appreciate that a lot. But
Well, I probably wouldn't be where I am today without my coaches.
Wow.
Yeah, I've definitely worked really hard with them, and I've gotten way better than what I was.
I know they always got my back, so it's nice.
It's nice hearing that, isn't it? You know
It's
how
amazing.
you get.
That's what you coach for, right?
You
To
coach
make-
for the outcome. Like we have 2 coaches who came back. We have Kristen Cargill and Kayla Parkin, and they're both nurses, one at St. Vincent and one at Hammond. And we're looking at like successful adults. We love the championships, but where are they going to be in the future?
Right.
You know, and that's what we want is productive and happy, successful, perseverant young women.
Very impressive. Who's your best rivalry with? You can say it.
Sagertown.
See, you do cooperative development of the players, but when you play each other, boom, you want to go at
We
it.
both want to win.
How about Cockerton? You probably like beating Cockerton,
Oh,
don't you?
yeah.
Yes.
I knew that was
Definitely.
coming.
Yeah.
The playoffs, who did you defeat in the District 10 championship game?
Sagertown.
Okay. What was the score?
6-2.
6-2. Okay, that's good. How's the future look? I mean, you're a sophomore, and you're the pitcher. You got a lot of nice players coming up around you.
Definitely, yeah. And returning our juniors too. We're definitely gonna have a strong underclass, and I think we're gonna do it again.
I was talking to Angie earlier in the year, and she said Cambridge Springs has never had a state championship team in any sport.
No.
So you think if that's the goal?
Definitely, I think it's possible. I mean, especially now that a lot of our underclassmen this year had experience in going to District 10 and playing in the state playoffs. I think it'd be much more relaxed next year going into it.
Well, it's tough. Our weather's not conducive to being outside and playing baseball or softball. And, the PIAA has it set up. It's probably, it's tough to win. I mean, you got to go up against the private schools, right? I mean,
Yes.
There's nobody saying, I'm coming to Cambridge Springs to play something. Maybe somebody might, not very
No.
often, no. But they're going to go to Villa Maria, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I got you.
So, how long do you think you're going to be coaching for? Are you going to go until you can't coach or until you retire?
I am going a while longer. My daughter's only going into 4th grade, and we've been working with these younger kids. I anticipate being here at least through that time period, and then it'll be a debate whether I run for political office or not. I'm actually a government teacher, psychology teacher. I really have always thought that once she graduates and goes to college, that I may pursue that dream also.
What made you decide to do that? I mean, like after she graduates?
I know where she learned that from. John Workmeister.
Actually, Bill McGee.
Bill McGee.
Bill McGee at when
Conneaut
I was-
Lake, right?
Conneaut Lake. I graduated from Conneaut Lake, and he really got us interested in politics when I was younger, and I've always liked it. I take the students to Senator for a day.
Wonderful.
Michelle Brooks, and actually, when Haley was younger, we won a competition, and I got to take an entire group of junior high students to the Capitol with Michelle Brooks, and
Wonderful.
we got to
Nice.
tour the Capitol, and I've always been in love with politics, so that's kind of like my retirement plan is once I'm done teaching, and I'd like to get into
Where'd
that.
you go to college?
I did my undergraduate at Edinburgh, and I did my master's at Gannon.
Dave, how long do you think you're going to hang out for?
I think I'll do this through retirement. Because I don't really have that many years left to teach. I'm thinking probably less than 6 years. But I want to continue doing this until at least I retire.
So
I
what do you
enjoy
teach
this
in
thing.
school?
I teach mathematics. I've taught.
So you've had these girls too?
Yes, I
Was
have.
he easy too during softball season, or was he harder than Angie?
You can't be easy or hard with math, Ed. It's
Yeah.
pretty black
Math's
and white,
just
right?
hard.
Yeah.
Less work makes it easier, right?
But it was nice because they were always here to help us out or if we were having difficulties in that subject.
When we take team trips, we have a math teacher, a science teacher, a social studies teacher, and whenever we go to like Virginia Beach or we go to North Carolina or to Tennessee, there's always someone to help.
Don't you think you guys being in the school makes it a lot easier? Because we were talking earlier, like at Meadville, the football coach, the basketball coach, the baseball coach, none of them are in the school, where you guys have constant relationships with these young ladies. That's a good thing.
It's like
to
this
have.
area is, has a lot of teachers. With the exception of Meadville, they're all, one of them teaches at Maplewood, and the other two don't teach at all. But you go down to the bigger cities, and the majority of them aren't even teachers, and that's what they do all year round, just like you guys. But they don't even do it.
Well, I think you girls are blessed to have
Yes.
these two people as your coaches. I can see that.
We have
You can
a
tell.
staff of 7.
Seven. You have 7.
There are 7 coaches on our staff, but like we said, we have 2 nurses, and so sometimes a coach is a 2 or 3 day a week coach. But Kayla Parkin was our pitcher back in 2015, and she was an all-state pitcher. When you have a coach like her, and then Megan Dragosavic, who was also on that 94
Yeah, I see you have
team.
what, 8 D10 championships now.
9 now.
Yeah, put another
How do you
Yeah.
get 9? I see
Wait.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Is it
5,
all?
6, 7, and then 2020,
Okay, yeah.
1 makes
8.
8. Who's the math teacher? Can't even count.
That's 8.
All right, we have 2 coaches who can throw still heat
That's nice.
for practice, and that's a bonus for us. So Haley's not throwing except for tracking and bunting and stuff.
How many
live.
pitchers do you have on your staff?
We have two.
Two pitchers.
Two pitchers.
And the distance is 40 feet, 43 feet?
43 feet.
43 feet. Can you throw a riser?
I'm working on it.
Working on it, okay. What's your best pitch?
Probably my drop ball.
Drop ball. Location's important. Do you throw off speed?
Yes.
Because I watch baseball every night, and that's the get out pitch is the off speed. They throw that 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and the next thing you know, it comes that 84-mile-an-hour changeup, swing and a miss. You get a lot of strikeouts.
Decent amount, yeah. But I mean, that's not something I worry about because I know the team behind me will get the outs.
Plays. It's good. Do you feel like the future is very bright for Cambridge Springs softball?
I always feel like the future is very bright. We have girls who are dedicated and work hard, and we have a good atmosphere.
I'm really, really impressed with what you have done and with you two coaches. I mean, I don't get out of the house very often and to see what you're doing. It's just really, you got a program that's really, the sky's the limit for you guys.
We're hoping.
Yeah, I'd love to see you get that state championship. That would be wonderful. And we could follow them, Ed.
Yeah. Hey, most definitely. I was trying to follow them after you guys, after D10 and that. But what's your off-season workouts consist of?
Off season, we have the gym certain days of the week. With COVID, we had a lot of issues, like we weren't allowed.
They were sending us workouts to do in chats during COVID, if you wondered. And I don't think any of us did that.
And the sleepy one of the bunch wakes up here.
Yeah, the COVID stuff put a real damper. Prior to that, we always had Sundays, and then this year we did something called Hit Tracks in Harbor Creek. At E2A2 had this Hit Tracks, and you could take up groups of girls, and you had to have a pitcher, and you had to have a catcher, and then you could bring up to 3 other players, and the pitchers would compete against each other, and it was the virtual, like you would get hits and strikeouts and things like that, and would call balls and strikes. So that live hitting really helped us. I believe that was one of our best assets.
What was your team batting average for this season?
Team batting average was 345. I haven't even had a slugging percentage too for our team. We slugged 469. Our on base percentage was 398. So almost 4 out of every 10
That's pretty
times
good.
these girls came to the plate and they were on. So it was a good.
You guys had mentioned when we were talking earlier about your bench.
Our bench is amazing. Wait, I'm gonna let them talk about
Yeah,
the bench.
that's enough.
You guys can
Go
talk
ahead,
about
talk about the bench.
Oh, they're super loud, so that helps. That rattles the other team. And then they would also like make, yeah, that word.
Specific. Yeah.
Cheers for like each player. Like they had like a strikeout cheer for Haley when she'd strike people out. So it was really great.
That's neat. How many kids do you carry on the roster? Do you have a JV team?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
we have a JV team. We had 19 players, 6 managers, and 7 coaches. Wow. When we go places, we fill the bus.
That's impressive. I know.
Pretty intimidating when you come off the bus, huh?
Maybe.
Because I think the Meadville girls were lucky to have 10. I mean, just barely had 10 kids to play.
That's too bad.
You guys played. Is there 9 or 10 on the? It's 9,
9,
right? 9.
yeah.
You know, that's right. There's no rover. Right?
No, it's not slow pitch.
No, it's fast pitch. It's
Yeah.
baseball. It's close to. That's why I love watching the women's softball. It's the best thing on TV. It really is. The World Series. It's good.
What other positions you guys play? I mean, you play shortstop, so
Yeah, I played center field since my freshman year. I started as a freshman too.
So she moved you to
Yes, this year, or actually just my senior year, I started playing shortstop.
which position do you like better?
I don't know, they're 2 totally different positions, so I do love them both though.
I like playing infield, less running.
How about your catcher?
Our catcher, we have 2 quality catchers. We have Mackenzie Lewis, spent the most time behind the plate, and we have Ali Acosta Reyes, who was at third base. And those 2 could switch on and off whenever needed. Like, they are both 2 quality players. And then we had Taylor Smith. She's a junior, going to be a senior. She was at second base, She came up clutch numerous times in the playoffs. Like, she had clutch hits that kept us in games.
Who calls the pitches?
I do.
You do.
As you can see, one of her hand is painted just for the pitch.
Okay.
I only paint one hand for pitch calling so that
Just like the catchers do
in the major leagues, yes, it works.
What kind of gloves do the catchers use? They use first baseman's glove?
No, there's actual,
There's
like,
actual
fast pitch catcher's gloves.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Back in the day, a lot of guys, men that played, they used the first baseman's glove to catch. But
Yeah, we started a freshman in left field this year, Kylie Miller, and a sophomore in right field, Emily Boylan, and then a sophomore in our DP spot, which was Madeline Dragosavic.
okay.
So we had quite a bit of experience coming up,
back.
and we had 3 girls who shared a lot of running time with Paige Gill and Abby Gatz and Brooklyn Cole.
Did any of you girls make all region team?
They haven't announced
They
it
haven't
yet.
announced it yet. I saw that in the paper today. They did volleyball.
They did the volleyball. They have not
Okay.
officially announced softball.
Okay. You expect probably to have some more.
I do, because they texted me and asked me for some headshots of certain girls.
So you must have had a pretty good league. I mean, Union City got to the state semifinals, and
Yep.
they were in your region, correct?
Yeah, there are only 2 region losses were to Union
And
City.
were they close games?
One game we don't ever talk about again.
I know what you're talking about.
It's one of those
Stuff
games,
to
bad
swallow,
news,
right?
bad news bears, but it was our side.
Yeah.
And the other game, we were right in it with them the whole time.
Well, that's pretty impressive. 2 small towns within 10 miles of each other to get into the state playoffs and win state playoff games and have a rivalry with them. You're what? You're 1A and they're 2A? Is
Yes.
that how it went? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, let me think here for a second. I don't even know what I was going to say, if that's sad or not, man. It feels like I'm the one that's the sleepy one. But, now, what do you like doing? Do you like coaching third base? Or
Yes.
why do you do it?
I coach third base because I like to be in control. I use our bench a lot. We are a complete team. All the other teams hate and the umpires when they see me coming because I use the bench a ton. We use that DP flex back and forth. You know, we had Cheyenne Moscone who could come off the bench and you never knew when she was jacking a ball.
DP means designated.
Designated player, and a flex is a player who can move up and down the lineup.
Okay. Oh,
So
up and
what
down
would,
the line.
what would happen is, in our DP position, we would use Maddie Dragosavic and Cheyenne Moscone, and we had Emily Boylan in the flex position. So if either of those 2 girls would get on, I'd move Emily up to run.
Okay.
And then back down. Emily never exits the game. She just goes up and down in the lineup.
interesting.
She's pretty quick.
Yeah, she's fast, and she plays right field.
Who initiated
for them.
those rules? I mean, I never.
They've been in place for probably 10 years
Okay.
now.
Is that to get more people involved?
Yes, it's to allow, and then we use courtesy runners and pinch runners, and we have girls who are amazing bunters. So if we're in a bunt situation, I might pull that girl in and say,
When
"You're
you
bunting."
put let's say you wanted somebody to bunt, can they do it only once or can they do it multiple times?
They
in a
could
game?
do it twice, but then that first girl's gone.
Gone. Okay.
And that's where I
got you.
have to watch.
Right, I
We
got
always
you.
had a couple hitters
Okay.
ready.
It's just like probably a lot easier to manage in the American League than it is in the National League in baseball. So you got a lot of strategy going on in your mind to make this thing work.
Right, and we use the bench.
use
We
the bench.
utilize all of the girls that we have.
And that's good for team camaraderie and stuff too. You got everybody's involved and everybody feels part of it. Well, obviously you said your bench cheers for you and stuff, but they're also playing.
They are. They're on and off. They're loud. They are that 10th man, as like Coach said.
And then the younger kids probably look up to the older ones.
These guys, I mean, we have some younger managers. We have that absolutely would want to be these guys, and I hear my daughter talk about
Wonderful.
these older girls and wanting to be like them, and I'm like, yes, please, be like the older girls.
That is very impressive. You got a program that's on the rise. It's going to keep going.
Yeah,
There's no
what we
question
hope for.
about it. No question about it.
Who had the best batting average?
Paige Verbanik. She batted .426 this year.
And that
Pretty
includes
impressive.
playoffs when you were
The
seeing
better pitching.
the
She
better
batted
pitching
490 during the regular season.
during regular season.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well,
She's our leadoff hitter. We had 2 lefties in
the
lead.
game that you girls play, failure is 70% of the time, basically, right? If you do 3 out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame, right? In baseball,
exactly.
you are. And softball's probably very similar. Fast pitch softball. That's what you girls play. You play fast pitch, which is a good game. Who do you do a lot of base running, stealing bases and stuff?
We do. We practice a lot of base running.
How about bunting?
Yes.
You watch a Major League Baseball game, and half these guys, they just throw the bat out there, and you're going, you might as well just swing away. But you teach it, and it
We
works
utilize it. We work a lot on bunting and moving runners and scoring position.
How about squeeze plays?
We have what's called score at will. Not as much the squeeze, but we try to bunt down that first base line and score the third base runner with that.
And I asked you earlier, you can steal as soon as the pitcher releases the ball.
Yes.
Do you ever get anybody called out for leaving early?
Yeah. Pat Barco's really good at it.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it would be Pat. How about different?
We hurt Pat. Don't worry. We hurt Pat. But we always know there are certain umpires who are watching us.
And so that's the first base umpire that would call that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
This is old Pat.
So you have Pat, and you have Bill Dithridge that does your games.
Yeah, we haven't had him a whole lot this year, but we do have like Terry Reynolds, and during the playoff games we saw Quayle and we saw Lee Myers, and John Davis was behind the plate for both our District 10 game and our first round of
And where
state.
did you get to go to Slippery Rock to play down there?
We played there once, yes.
It's a nice facility, right?
Great facility. We played at Barron twice,
And that's nice also.
yes, and Allegheny once.
Okay. And how's their facility down there?
Allegheny?
Yeah.
I really like Allegheny's facility. I think they do an excellent job. Beth Curtis is down there
That's
coaching,
wonderful.
and
That's wonderful. I know back in the day when Shelley Monis, you know that name?
yes, I do.
She coached Meadville. I think the only time they won District 10, and maybe they won twice back in the early 2000s. She was a heck of a player.
Yes, she was.
She could teach the girls at the windmill. And who's your pitching coach?
Well, the primary pitching coach is Haley's dad. She works with him at home. Kevin, when you have a top-notch pitcher, you don't mess with mechanics.
Yeah.
You don't mess with.
Haley, what's your last name?
Rogers.
Rogers. Okay.
We work cooperatively
Good.
with that, but we don't want to interfere with. Haley spends a lot of time playing travel ball, and she has a private pitching coach and things. So we're not going
Yeah.
to.
Why you want to
mess
change
with-
success, right?
Yeah, we
Why
don't
mess
mess
with
with that.
success? Yeah, I get it. When I managed my American Legion baseball team, I didn't care if a kid stood on his head. If he could hit 300, I'll take him. I don't care. It didn't matter to me. I'm not going to, what am I going to tell him? If he's batting, he's doing a good job. You don't want to change any of that. So,
None of you girls want to go on in college and play?
I'm actually going to Barron to play softball.
You're going to like that facility.
and
like
get a
John
great
said.
education,
Oh,
Penn
yes.
State education. You can't beat that.
I'm so excited.
And what was your major again?
Plastics engineering technology.
Can't even spell that, Ed.
Like hey,
All the Penn State graduates I know all have jobs, so you'll do fine in the world. All you girls, well, I can tell. You've learned a lot from your coaches. There's no doubt about it. I mean, wow.
Paige, what other
Coaches like
sports
that.
did you play besides softball?
I played volleyball and I used to play basketball too.
So you don't play basketball anymore?
No.
That's his sport. His
All the
daughter
sports.
played that. She was good.
Yeah, we used to come out here and play Cambridge Springs back in the day. They had Stephanie Bear, and we had a good rivalry. When Dean Henderson was my daughter's coach, they had a good rivalry with Cambridge Springs. Had some good players out here. They still do.
Yep.
I mean, the county. I've talked to other people. The county league used to be great with all the rivalries with Conneaut Lake and Conneautville and Lyonsville and Cockerton, and that's all gone now for the most part. But you still have some, right? Like you said, Sagertown. You love beating them, don't you?
So how was that D10 game when you guys beat them? How loud was the bench?
It was a pressure cooker game.
They were so loud.
Where'd you play that at?
Barron.
At Barron. What was the score? Final score?
6-2.
62. Yeah, that's a good ball game. Was it close most of the way?
Yes, it was close, and then we broke it open in one inning. Paige made a catch that completely changed the game. Hit a ball deep, and she drop step, which we talk all the time about. Our outfield coaches will tell you drop step, drop step, drop step. She drop stepped and robbed her of a hit.
It was big.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
And in that game, a lot of people.
A lot of people.
So many people.
That was great.
It was intense.
That's wonderful. Now, does Sagertown have a good program coming up too?
Yes,
the
they
competition
do.
will continue.
They only graduated a couple girls. They're returning almost their entire lineup, including they had a freshman pitcher.
Was that game single elimination?
Yes.
So that really puts the pressure.
Yeah,
Whereas
Union City got lucky that they had a play-in game because they had become runners-up in
Right.
District 10. If we'd have been runners-up,
you were done.
We were done.
You were done.
so it just depends on the numbers and that.
Yeah, they, so do you look for good things for next year? I mean, like when the girls are coming up, especially against Sagertown, when they have a lot of girls coming back too. Because how many times did you actually play them during the regular season?
Twice during the regular season and once during the finals.
Did you beat them all 3 times?
Yes.
They
What
were
was
all
the-
close games, though.
All close
All
games,
one.
like one-run games up until the finals.
Jeez, oh man.
Angie, do the Little League All-Stars, do they combine? Is that the
Yes,
district,
I'm
Sagertown, and
actually
Cambridge
really-
Springs together?
Really excited. This group of 10U that I'm helping coach has Sagertown, Cambridge, and McLean.
Okay.
And this little group of girls, they're awesome. They're a ton of fun to work with, and they're like little sponges. They love softball and they want to play.
When that gets rolling too, that All-Stars, it gets to be a lot of fun for everybody involved.
Yeah, and Paige is actually helping coach this year. She's on our 12U staff with Coach Salat and Potts.
Okay.
So do you think, when does I know the All-Stars started, but when's the game start?
I believe they're starting in the next couple weeks.
Next couple weeks. So you already got all the All-Stars picked out?
Tonight is the affidavit and district meeting that we have to go to and make sure everybody's birth certificates and all that stuff, but the team has already been solidified.
So, I mean, like, you're so busy. I mean, how does that go with, like, you know, your kids and family life and everything? I mean,
I
do they
have-
like coming? Or does your daughter like coming?
My daughter loves playing sports. She likes to play whatever sport. She plays lots of sports. And she loves the older girls. Like,
She'll even practice with us sometimes.
she just wants to be like them. She wants to do everything that they do. She looks up to them. And my husband is very supportive. He knew what he was getting when he married me.
And then, like you said, you're helping out on some of the things. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you guys just really enjoy it, don't you? I mean, you know, you're taking these kids, and that's what I miss about coaching, is, you know, taking these kids and then trying to, you know, get them groomed for real life, you know, because it's just not the parents, it's actually a village that helps raise kids, and you guys with being teachers and everything really, you know, are an influence on it.
This Cambridge community is amazing. Dolores Hale was always helping us organize things.
Wonderful lady.
The amount of community stuff, like Cambridge Sprinkles did these awesome softball cookies for us. The First Church of God did gift bags. Jeff Parkin and his wife with Memory Masters Photography, you know, D&J Bakery, you name it. Everybody
Brink Inc.
was.
supplying us with,
And
you know,
these shirts, if you look on the side, Brink Inc. actually donated shirts for us and had them custom made and delivered and met me for them. The community just
And I
supports
imagine-
us. And the firemen,
And the boys probably come out to the games and support the teams, right?
Yes.
Just like you probably support them.
Yeah, well, actually, they forked our field, so I wasn't
Well-
very supportive.
Hey, what?
Uh-oh.
Ford?
Yes,
Just as a
before our playoff game.
before we left for District 10, apparently the night before, they went up to our field and there were thousands of forks, knives, spoons, straws.
There's a 5-gallon bucket
There's
of
a 5-gallon.
plastic utensils.
So
Well,
that
they're
are
just
dug out.
jealous because you were D10 champs and they were runner-ups, right?
You're right.
They didn't know.
I don't think they made
They
it.
They
didn't
didn't
know
make it
that.
that far, but it's all good humor.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take that type of a good humor prank, you know. And they would come to our games. We were very lucky that we had the community support we did.
It's nice living in a small community when you have that.
Well, they're dying too. I mean, there's not a lot of small communities left, and to see what you guys have is wonderful.
Well, not many people still walk to school. You know, we have a portion of our
Right.
school that walks to school every day, and when we were going around, the firemen and police officers and that were taking us around before we left, everybody was out on the streets cheering for us, and you can't be in a better place.
It's nice. It's a good community. I work up here. I'm impressed. They're going to fix the bridge too.
Eventually,
It's only been a year and a half now, but it'll get done. I mean, just great success. What other sports did you play?
I played volleyball for a little bit, but I stopped after freshman year. But then I did cross country for 3 years.
I see the girls out running, the guys running through town all summer long at the cross country.
Chloe?
I played softball ever since I was really little until now, and then I played volleyball freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And my senior year, I tried something new and played soccer.
I played basketball and then softball.
You still playing basketball?
Yep.
What position? Point guard.
I'm one of the guards.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So you're going to continue pitching through, I know you're just a sophomore, but you plan on going to college to pitch and everything?
I would really like that. Yeah.
So how did your dad get, teach you how to pitch? I mean, did he ever teach or play modify?
No, he didn't even play baseball. No. We just started watching on TV, and then we went when I was younger to one of Jenny Finch's camps, and so I got to work with her, and then we just started watching people and picking up stuff from every person that you would go to, and everyone is different. They teach it different, but you like this bit, and then you like something from this person, you like something here, and then you just put it together, and it's kind of like your own style in a way.
So how many hours a week do you actually work with them?
We pitch every night or every day, unless I have a game, then obviously I go there. But
And your arm never gets sore, right? Because you're
That's a natural
motion, right?
yeah, I mean, as long as you have the correct mechanics, it doesn't hurt.
So from last year when everything was shut down, no spring sports, to this year, what do you think you guys would have done last year?
we would have done at least what we did this year. Last year's
How many
group,
girls did you lose?
we lost 3, but we lost 3 very, very quality players who I'm sad missed out on their senior year.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been a good group because we had it all, and
Yeah, I
the
know
team
what you-
chemistry.
I know what you're feeling because my son played lacrosse for me. Well, they won D10 the year before, and then to get his senior year done, kind of stunk. So, but I mean, that's good that you still brought the, intensity back, and then these girls went on to win, and I just, wish these girls, good success. John and I will be watching you guys next year.
Maybe we'll come out, we can do a game.
He's retired after this year, so we'll be able to come out and watch a little bit more.
I'd love to do it. I'd love to do one of their games for TV.
We'll get.
Come on,
We'll get Mr. Tomini, in on it.
I
But
would-
it's
I like-
so hard to do it in the spring, just because if it's raining, the weather
Right.
up here stinks. But hopefully we can, because we haven't even done a baseball game in like 3 years. Because
I just like to say this, is I am so impressed with Angie and Dave and you young ladies that I wish you all the best in your future and what you do. I mean, you girls are blessed to have those two as your coach and the rest of them. I mean, I could just the first time I ever met these people, you could tell you got it, no doubt about it.
I mean, are you still going to keep in contact with her after you guys go to
Oh,
college?
Come on, man, that's
Are you thinking
Can't you
about
figure
maybe
that out
helping?
by now?
I mean, I'm really busy all the time. I have 2 jobs, but
Well, good.
I would if I would coach if I didn't have to work.
Well, I'm talking like after you go to college and
Oh,
you
yeah.
get,
She'll
spring
be
break.
at my wedding. She'll be at my wedding.
We talk about that. I'm like, someday I'll dance at your wedding with you.
There you go.
I mean, that's good. I mean,
Wow.
you're still here to help them and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's really good that you guys build that good rapport.
I bet you get a good support from your administration.
We're in the transition era at Cambridge.
Okay.
We have a new principal. We've after 18 years, we have switched principals. We have a great athletic director, Dana Mason,
He does
supports
all
us.
3 schools in
All
Pencrest.
3
Craig, that's got to be a heck of a
schools.
job.
You know, and Dave Newfer has been our principal, and Jackie Seda has been our assistant principal, and now Kylene Coper is our new principal.
Well, you can tell, I mean, a lot of pride here. Your gym's redone a little bit, I've noticed. I haven't been here in a while.
A lot of it, yeah.
Looks nice, and new bleachers, and got a lot of championship banners. Hopefully you girls can get that state banner up there. That would be big for the community and for everybody involved.
Oh, yeah, and hopefully we'll be back here next year with you guys.
That would be wonderful.
I'd love that.
But that's it for today's show. But for Ed Marin and
John
my
Matillo,
co-host
thank
John
you.
Matillo and Cambridge Springs D10 champions, thank you for watching the Sports Close Up on Armstrong, your neighborhood channel.